Here's what to do for the Eclipses Lab. You're going to need your Earth model, the Moon model, which is this with a smaller styrofoam ball, and the light representing the sun. First step is, after you've got your lab, is we're going to go to this part. We're going to go to the back as the very first thing. I'm going to cross off all of question number 1. Once you've crossed off all of question number 1, I'm going to go to the front of this. And we're going to do a little pre-lab here where I'm going to give you some information and have you draw some pictures down. And then you're going to write in words what's happening with these pictures. So we're looking at solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. For a solar eclipse, if this is the sun, in a solar eclipse, that's the Earth, and as the moon is orbiting around the Earth, sometimes the moon gets in the way in between the Earth and the sun, and the sunlight is blocked by the moon so that the sun is eclipsed. When you look at the sun from the Earth, the moon is blocking it. So you end up not seeing the entire sun. And then this is the Earth here. For a lunar eclipse, here's the sun again. In this case, the moon is still traveling around, but in this case, this is the Earth, and the moon is traveling around, and the Earth blocks the sunlight from getting on the moon. The interesting part here is solar eclipses only happen during the daytime, and lunar eclipses only happen during the nighttime when there is a full moon. They're very special circumstances, both these eclipses are. So your job is going to be to write down in words what is happening with a solar eclipse and what is happening with a lunar eclipse. Then you'll go and do the lab for solar eclipses. The next page here, these are your directions, and then here's what you're going to draw for a solar eclipse. In the lab, so this is what you're going to draw for a solar eclipse and use words to explain it. Then down here, these two questions are, if you are staring at the sun, standing on Earth, staring at the sun, what would a total solar eclipse look like? This one, if you're standing on the Earth, looking at the sun, what would a partial solar eclipse look like? And your hint here for this is our Earth, this is our sun, and this is the moon. And so, as you do this, stand way over here, where on the opposite side of the Earth. Your eyeball becomes the Earth. And then have the moon block the entire sun. Have your eye down at table level. Have the moon block your sun. And then you can see the solar eclipse there. If you move the sun just a little bit out of the way and you can see part of the sun, there's a partial solar eclipse. When you're done with that, you go to lunar eclipse. And for lunar eclipse, same thing. You're going to place a model of the Earth on the table, and the moon is behind here. And so when you turn it on, the moon, you're going to move the moon with the stick so it is behind the Earth. So the Earth is between the sun and the moon. And here, if you were standing on the Earth looking at the moon, what would you see in a total lunar eclipse? And if you're standing on the Earth looking at the moon for a partial eclipse, what would you see? After you're done with each of those, you'll go on and answer these last two questions at the bottom of the back page of the lab.